good. My first question maybe, where do you come from?
So I am from Scotland.
Okay. How long have you been in Indonesia, sir?
I have been here for over 3 years.
Okay, 3 years. Before come to Indonesia, is there any countries for come to Indonesia?
Yeah, so I've also taught for a few months in China as well. So China and Indonesia are the two countries where I've taught.
Oh, okay. My main question is, what is your opinion about education in Indonesia?
So speaking to students,
Yeah.
I would say Indonesian education is maybe a little bit boring
Okay.
for them.
Mm-mm.
They have some teachers that they enjoy, but I think the curriculum, I guess, is a little bit boring, where it's look at the book, answer the questions.
Okay.
There's no games or excitement to excite the students. And I think that's something where EF is better than normal school, because there's a lot more games and activities to excite them.
More interactive.
More interactive, yeah.
Yes.
And I think school here in Indonesia sounds very similar to school in Scotland,
Oh.
where it's a lot of the book and
Oh, yeah.
sort of the teacher just talking and the student answering the teacher's questions just. And I've seen students here also get quite a lot of homework as well.
Yeah, that's right.
Whether that's generally the way it is, or if it's only because of the pandemic and the online class, they get more homework because of that, I'm not sure. But yeah, I think they always get a lot of homework.
What is your struggle being a teacher in Indonesia?
I think the main thing that I find the most difficult is I guess the planning of the class, because I don't like to plan. But then also the sort of administration side as well, the test scores and reports and all this kind of thing. So the actual teaching the class itself is fine, but then I also find, being a native teacher in Indonesia, if the class is of a very low level, it can be difficult to, I guess, be understood by the student, but then also to kind of get my idea across to the student of what the topic may be. I think if you're a local teacher, it's easier just to throw in a little bit of Bahasa to help them understand. But my Bahasa is quite small, so I can't really use that to help the students. So I think that's the main challenge in the classroom for me.
How do you do for that difficulties?
So I think a lot of using hands to gesture, maybe. And sometimes I might use Google Translate on my phone to find the Bahasa word and then tell them the Bahasa word, so they have kind of an idea.
Oh, okay.
And then they can think and go, I know that word. Ah, yeah, so it's kind of the same.
Okay.
So I kind of just use the modern technology to help. And yeah, I kind of just take the time to kind of go slow and kind of try and explain it the best I can, so the student kind of gets the idea. I think when it comes to grammar points and stuff, I think eliciting from the student and help letting the student find the thing is a good way, because then they're focusing on the points, and then they can kind of learn it themselves almost, with you as kind of guidance, I guess.
Okay. What level that most difficult for you in EF? Small stars, high flyers?
I've not taught small stars yet.
Okay.
But I would say the most difficult I've had is possibly, I think, front runner 1.
Oh, okay.
I think.
Oh, why is it?
I think because the way the brain works, in that the older you get, the more difficult it is to learn the language. So obviously front runner are over 14. So if they're very weak in English, it can be difficult to get the points across. Whereas high flyer C or trailblazer 1, they're kind of still young enough to take a lot of the information on board. Whereas front runner can be quite difficult because I think the material can be a little bit more complex than high flyers and trailblazer, but then also it's kind of the maturity thing, I guess, where they kind of struggle to understand what it is and that kind of thing. It's difficult to explain in words, but it's kind of a thing where the older the student, the more difficult it is to learn from the beginning, I guess.
Okay. Do you have any suggestion for young teacher? Maybe for me, because this is my last day of my internship here. So maybe in the future I would teaching, maybe in EF, maybe. Do you have any tips for me or my friends?
Yeah. I would say for tips, I think use all the materials that you're provided. Especially in EF, there's a lot of things to help with the teaching. I would say if you're a new or young teacher, use the experience of other teachers around you. Get their advice, get their help. I think in EF, a lot of teachers, even if they don't have a lot of time, they don't mind to take 3-4 minutes to quickly go over something with you, or maybe give you advice that could help. I think even 2 weeks ago, I was given advice about a PPT I could use for a class I found I had at the last minute. I had nothing planned for them because the staff messed things up a little bit and didn't tell me. So I had nothing to teach. Someone told me, there's a PPT in this folder. I had a look and it helped me a lot doing the trial class. So use the experience of people around you if you're not sure. I think there's teachers, especially in this school, who have been here for years and years longer than I have, and a lot of their advice is quite, I guess, useful.
Okay.
I was trying to think of a word like maybe impressive or something, but yeah, I don't think that works. So yeah, use materials, and also from the very beginning of teaching in EF here, one of the things I was told, find your own style of teaching, and then that makes it a lot easier. So for me personally, I like to be a bit more light, jokey with the students. Little jokes here and there, be funny, make the students laugh, and then they seem to respond a bit more to that.
Okay.
So
they will enjoy the class as well.
Indeed.
Okay.
Yeah.
In total, how long have you been a teacher?
So, including China, I think it's about. Let's see, this is August. I think I did about 5 or 6 months in China only. So about 3 years and 7 months, maybe. But I also did the TEFL certificate, like 9 years ago now, for teaching English as a second language. So I have a bit of experience from that as well.
Okay, I think that's all from me. Thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. Thank you, and good luck for your career for the future as well.
Okay,
Thank you.
You too.